What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm your host, Spawn 92, for another exciting look at of another Spawn Compendium. Today, I'll be going over Spawn Compendium 7. Now, at the time of this recording, this is the latest one. Okay, there has not been no word of a Compendium 8. That's because I don't think Spawn has reached issue 400. So we probably won't get the next book until next year. But you know, here in a few days, though, we are getting King Spawn Compendium 1. I did a news about that one, so check that out if you haven't already. So that'll be the next compendium I will pick up. Cannot wait for that. But today, we'll go over this one. I just finished it. Boy, do I have lots to talk about. So many plot twists, so many like shocking reveals, plenty of action in this comic. Okay, there's a lot of battles in this comic right here. Very cool. So, and I've only paid including shipping and handling, I probably paid about $34 from Amazon. And just like my other videos, I'll put a link in the description box so you guys can pick up your copy. So get a closer look on the cover there. Very nice. Here is the spine and the back. Very cool. And of course, it's retail at $60, Canada $80. But again, you can get it for like $34-$35 from Amazon. So I'm gonna read the back. It says in 1992, artist and creator Todd McFarlane launched a new comic series named Spawn. In the years that followed, the fan base grew and the book became widely popular. Now, years later, Volume 7 of the Spawn Compendium rests in your hands. This includes the issues that met and then broke the Guinness World Record for the longest running creator-owned comic book in history, a comic book that is still going strong to this very day. Join Spawn and Spawn Compendium Volume 7 as he embarks on a journey to uncover the true essence of being a Hellspawn. Driven by a thirst for vengeance, he navigates a treacherous path in hopes of reclaiming his lost humanity. Spawn Compendium Volume 7 collects issues 302 through 350 of the award-winning comic series. These issues contain stories by Spawn creator Todd McFarlane and a murderous row of talented writers and artists such as Roy McConville, Jason Sean Alexander, and Carlo Barberi. So there you have it. I'm going to switch the camera around so we get a better look of this comic book and what's inside. Now, there may be a few spoilers, okay? I'll try to keep it spoilers free as possible, but no promises. Like I said, a lot happens in this book. It's just mind-blowing. So, alright guys, just give me a second and we'll take a closer look. I'll be right back. Alright guys, here is a closer look. Spawn Compendium 7. Get your logo, image, and then McFarlane's signature. Really cool cover. I like this cover. Very nice. Open up. And once again, you have your credits, all the people that worked on this book. Very nice. And then here we are, starting issue 302. Here is Spawn. If you remember in Compendium 6, he went back to the original outfit, so here he is in all his glory. Very nice. Like the bats there. Very cool. Another cool shot of Spawn. Here is Al Simmons. Because you gotta remember, his suit don't make it powerful, but also his military skills. So, yeah, very cool. And here is Jessica Priest. Yeah, they retcon her story. You know, she's no longer the crazy assassin from the early times. They completely changed her story, but it's whatever, I guess. And here is Jessica Priest as She Spawn. Very nice. She's on a motorcycle. I don't think the Scourge happens yet. This is before she makes the team. I haven't read the Scourge, by the way, at the time of this recording. So I need to get on that and start reading it. But to be honest, oh yeah, look at that. But to be honest, I'm waiting for a compendium to happen, which I'm sure they will. Because at this point, they passed issue 50 of her story. I think there's like 56, 57 issues right now. So I'm hoping they'll make a compendium of the Scourge. Because if they ever do, I am definitely picking it up for sure. Because I want to know her story more, all that good stuff. Here's a cool shot of She Spawn. Very nice. There's Mark. If y'all remember him, he was with Jim Downey for a while. So here they are together. They're in like Spawn's secret base. I think this all started in the last compendium, all these trackers start appearing. This is like the location of like other health spawns. So they're trying, all three of these, Al Simmons, Mark, and She Spawn are trying to track down whether or not that these are, whether they're friend or foe. So there you have it. Might be hard to see. That is Medieval Spawn. He's in this book quite a bit. Very cool. I love his design. I love the helmet. Very nice. Here is Cogliostro. I think I'm saying his name right. We've seen him a bunch of times, way back in the early days of Spawn, way back in the early 90s. So here he is again. Now, this guy plays a big role in this book. If you guys read this, you know what I'm talking about. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep it spoiler free, but no promises. Of course, you got your anchors. Remember these people? Okay, they've been around since, the first issue, as a matter of fact. It's weird how they look all different now. It's just weird seeing that. Very cool. Nice little picture of Spawn and She Spawn. Very nice. Here's a better look at Medieval Spawn. There he is. Very nice. And here is the Reaper. I don't know if this is his first appearance or not. Maybe. I know there is an action figure of him. So for all you action figure collection out there, they do have a figure of this character, okay? The Reaper. Here is Billy Kincaid. You can tell by his little goatee there, that's Billy Kincaid. Haven't seen this guy in a while. I think, so I read the first, only the first 6 issues of King Spawn. I think he's in it. Yeah, I think he is. But like I said, I've only read the first 6 issues of King Spawn, but I'm waiting to get my hands on the compendium so that I can read the rest of it. But yeah, Billy Kincaid, the crazy guy that kills kids, the ice cream man. Here is Billy Kincaid again. Look at that, that's just insane. When I first saw this guy, I thought it was Wolverine. I mean, it looked just like him. Or that one guy, Ra's al Ghul from Batman. Yeah. Here's a cool shot of medieval Spawn on a horse. That's really awesome. I like that. Here is Al Simmons without his mask. This is after the defeat of medieval Spawn. You see his armor lay on the table. You got She Spawn, like the Reaper right there, and of course Mark. Yeah, there's a lot of team ups. Really, I think the team up starts happening in this book. So, yeah, very cool. Kind of remind me of the Avengers, you know. And speaking of team ups, here they all are. She Spawn, Reaper, got Al Simmons, Medieval Spawn. Well, no, he's on the helmet, but yeah. So yeah, they're kind of coming together at this point. Very cool. I like it. Nice shot there. Here is Gunslinger Spawn. Now, just like King Spawn, I read the first 6 issues of Gunslinger as well, but that's as far as I've gotten. I didn't read all of it yet. So, yeah. Some more Gunslinger Spawn. Very cool. Yeah, he controls like animals, you know, wolves, dogs, whatever. Very cool. Really love the artwork. Very nice. Here is Al Simmons, Raising the Dead. Very cool. Once again, you got Jessica Priest right there. Look at that, all those zombies. Here is Jim Downing. He looks different now. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of this version of Jim Downing. I prefer the older version, you know, like his original look. I don't know, I don't care much for this look. I don't know. That's just me though. Here's Jim Downing again. You get a better look at him. He's not a Spawn anymore, but I think he's got some sort of powers left in him. So there he is again. And look who's back. Overkill. Wow, look at this guy. Man, I miss him way back in the early issues. Very nice. There's his face close up. Here's Gunslinger and Redeemer. Very nice. Here is Jessica Priest on a motorcycle. Very cool. I think this is where, yeah, you see her right there. This is where she meets Gunslinger, I think for the first time, if I'm not mistaken. So, and you can see right here, she lends Gunslinger her motorcycle. Very cool. And here is Monolith. Okay, the new character. By the way, this is issue 313. This is Monolith's first appearance. Here's Overkill. They're going at it. So they're on an island at this point, okay? Which is Omega Island. And he does have his own miniseries, by the way, like 3 issues long. So he's from the future, but I will talk more about him when I do the miniseries review. But yeah, that's Monolith fighting Overkill on an island. Very cool. And yes, they do have an action figure of him as well. So again, if you got some of you guys out there that are collecting action figures, you might want to pick him up because he looks really cool. I love his design. Yeah, that's his name right there, Monolith. Very cool. So we're on the next issue, 314. And here is Spawn. He gets captured, by Monolith. He's getting tortured, as you can see. Not looking good. And here, ladies and gentlemen, is Omega Spawn. Look how big this guy is compared to Al. Yes. And to know more about Omega Spawn and Monolith, again, it's in a miniseries called Monolith, and it shows how they end up on the island. So, yeah, pretty cool. Here you got Medieval Spawn. He comes back and helps defeat Omega Spawn. Very cool. Get a closer look. Very nice. And here is Plague Spawn. Really love the design. The red M. Very cool. The spikes. And yes, they do. I believe they do have an action figure of him as well. So, and I believe this is his power bar. You see like the red hue. So, I mean, that's my guess. I don't know. But that is Plague Spawn. Very cool design. I love it. Okay, so here where it says Spawn's Universe, they did a one shot, okay? Spawn's Universe. This is where Spawn's Universe starts, right here, between issue 18 and 19. If you flip over, you see it says 319. So you wanna read this between issues 318 and 319, okay? This is where it all started. This is where, like, the Scorch, I think King Spawn and Gunslinger Spawn. This is where it starts right here. So again, it takes place between issues 318 and 319. So yeah, and I've actually read this, but I will do a review on it at some point. That's coming up pretty soon. So yeah, I actually enjoyed this one. But yeah. And here we got Sam Burke. Very cool. Yeah, you don't really see this guy a whole lot. I mean, I think you see Twitch maybe once and him only twice. But yeah, they don't have a big role in this book, sadly. But regardless, they're still in it. So yeah, very cool to see him back. Here is Cygor. He gets loose. That's him back of the truck. He gets out. And here is Soul Crusher. If y'all remember him, he was in the past issue as well. Spawn fought him already, but he's back. Very cool. And yes, they do have an action figure of him as well. There's Cygor's hand. Very cool. Love the artwork. Very nice. Love the shading and the coloring. really stands out, I think. Here's a better shot of Cygor. Here he is. You got Soul Crusher trying to slow him down. Very nice. And he does have his own miniseries. I think it's like 6 issues long. It's not new. It's like early 2000. It's old. It's not bad. I read it twice maybe, but I need to buy it so I can do a review on that. So, yeah, there you have it. Cygor and Soul Crusher. One of my favorite pictures of Medieval Spawn. It's a good shot of him. Love the armor. Very cool. I really love the helmet. I know I keep saying that. That's a really cool helmet. Got the red cape. Very nice. Here is Jim Downey again. See, here he looks better in my opinion. That's Jim Downey. Talking to Mark. Really good to see these guys back. Very cool. I never thought we'll see him or him. I thought, these guys were gone for good, but now they make a comeback. Here's another cool character. This guy is the Forsaken. I thought he was called Dark Redeemer, because there's an action figure that says Dark Redeemer. Looks just like him, so I don't know if the toy company made a mistake or what, but he's called the Forsaken. There's more about him, but I'm not gonna try not to reveal it. So yeah, I will say this: he's got connections to Cog. That's all I'm gonna say though. And here is Haunt. Okay, he's another character in the Image universe. So yeah, so Haunt does make quite a bit of appearance actually in this book. So later on, he teams up with Spawn. Here he is, and he does have his own series. I think it's like 26 or 28 issues, and I believe Robert Kirkman created him. The guy who did The Walking Dead and Invisible. I think he did this character. I've read his comics. I just don't have it. I read it digital, okay? So I've already read his background story, but I am going to get the actual, the copy of the book so that I could do a review on him. Not for sure when, but I will do a review of Haunt for sure. Here is Sin, Sinn. They do have an action figure of him too. He is the main antagonist in this entire book. But I don't want to say much about him. I don't want to spoil for you guys. But yeah, that's Sin. Very important character. He's later on in this book, he's trying to reclaim the empty throne in hell. So yeah, so this whole book really is about who is going to claim the throne, and he's one of the characters that's trying to go after the throne. So, but yeah, that's Sin, the main antagonist. So yeah, interesting character. Here is another cool shot of Sin. Yeah, he feeds off necroplasm, the power that gives Spawn his powers. He has it too. I guess it absorbs like in his armor. I'm not for sure, but yeah, very cool shot of him. I like the reflection of his armor. Very cool. Here is the Violator. Remember him? How he looks? This is the original look of the Violator. Very cool. Not going to show you much of the story. You're going to have to read it. I'm sorry, but this story reveals a lot of stuff, so you got to read it for yourself. This is an awesome story. I love it. I think it's issue, hang on one second. It's issue 331, for those who are wondering. I strongly recommend that you read this one. This issue is very important. You'll know why. So, but that's all I'm going to show you guys, okay? Because this is a huge spoiler. So, if you want to know what's going on in this issue, you gotta get the book for yourself and read it. It is good. I promise you that. I love this. This is one of my favorite issues in this book. I love it. Here is Overkill. He's back. Look, he got a skin back. He looks more how he looked in the early issues. Very cool. You got Spawn, Haunt, and there's Jim Downing. Like I said, guys, I wasn't lying when I said that this book's got a lot of battles. So there's a lot of team ups, there's a lot of battles, a lot happened in this book. It's just awesome. Now, this might be a little spoiler. If you look, yep, Nyx comes back. Look at her. She's got like a new body now. She looks really cool. She kind of looks like a dark version of Rogue from the X-Men, if you ask me. But yeah, Nyx makes a comeback. Very cool. You got more battle scenes. Overkill, you got Cygor, Medieval Spawn there. There's Al, Jim Downing. Like, it's nothing but just action, you know. I mean, yeah, there's dialogue, there's people talking, but there's a lot of battles, which I like. So, very cool. Here's a better close-up of Nyx. She's in the green world at this point. So, to give her a rank of Scion, I think I'm saying that right. So, yeah, very cool design. I love it. Here you got the angels from heaven. They're different now. It didn't have those women with, you know, less clothing, which I miss. But alas, this is heaven now, because, you know, Angela and all that no longer exists, because, you know, she now belongs to Marvel. But yeah, you know, I mean, you're gonna see heaven and, of course, you know, hell and all that. Like I said, this whole book is about a fight, or I should say, a war to fight. You know, they're all fighting for the throne. So that's the main gist of this whole book, what's happening. Right here, I believe this is where the war starts. I do apologize for the glare, but very cool. There you go, that's better. So you got angels and demons fighting among themselves. Yeah, it's very chaotic. Here is Clown. This is his new look. I mean, look at this guy. He's no longer, like, you know, short. He's actually pretty tall in this one. He's kind of big. Got little miniature clowns. Here's a better look, a close-up. Yeah. That's Clown right now, how he looks. At least where I'm at. So, he may look different now later on. I don't know. But, so, yeah. So, the mini clowns. I think it was a King Spawn. It reveals how he got the little tiny clouds with him. So I may go deeper into that whenever I pick up King Spawn Compendium. So, but alright, that's all for now. I don't want to show you too much. Like I said, I try to keep it spoiler free, but trust me, I did show you some important stuff, but there's a lot more to it, though, I promise. So, alright guys, that was it. I'll be right back. Alright folks, that was it. That was Spawn Compendium 7. Awesome book. I gotta say, it was really good. It really blew my mind. Okay, there's a lot of plot twists which I did not show. So I just kind of show you, you know, what the characters are, you know, who's in it and what to expect. Like I said, like I did point it out that, you know, Spawn's universe, which is a one-shot, kind of similar to Spawn's Resurrection, okay? How that was a one-shot. You know, kind of pointed out that the Spawn's universe starts between issues 318 and 319. So it's crucial that you read it in between those issues, and that way you'll get a better understanding of what's going on. And of course, issue 313 was the first appearance of Monolith. I believe that's correct. If I'm not, please correct me down in the comments below. But yeah, I really love this book. I enjoyed it. Sorry it took a while. I try to read like 10 issues a day at least. You know, it depends how I feel, you know, because I do get tired after work. So, but yeah, I finally went through it. Now, of course, I didn't read, like I said, I've only read the first 6 issues of King Spawn and Gunslinger. So, toward the end of the book, I did get a little confused because it kept referencing back, you know, King Spawn issue 21 to 23. Well, I haven't gotten that far, so I wouldn't know. So it was a little confusing toward the end. I didn't want to show you that because it'd be a spoiler. But I am going to be reading it though, so whenever I get my hands on King Spawn Compendium 1, I'll definitely read it and do a review on it. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please leave a like and be sure to subscribe to my channel. And I'll put a link in the description box so that you guys can pick up your copy. It's really worth it. I highly recommend it. Again, a lot happened in this book. Okay, a lot of tense moments. Like, it really feels like you're watching a movie. It's that good. So pick it up if you haven't already. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. And you guys have a great weekend. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.